And that's a 50% increase. So this had a massive run up. All right, welcome to Talking Investing. I am Tom. This is not financial advice. We're here to talk about all things investing. And today I want to talk about the Tattooed Chef, stock ticker TTCF. Okay, we haven't talked about this one in about a month on the channel, but I think there's some catalysts coming up. So I want to go through some recent news, look through their presentation, go through the chart, and talk about what I'm seeing. So the first thing I want to look at is this was a press release they put out a few days ago. Today is October 7th. This was October 4th. Tattooed Chef now available at Publix supermarkets. They say 6 vegan and vegetarian entree bowls now in approximately 1,200 Publix stores. Publix pretty much dominates the southeast of the United States of America. So if you're in Florida or Georgia, basically you're going to Publix. There's not a lot of other options. It's staggering what they've been able to do in 2021 as far as expanding their base of stores that they sell from. So we're going to go through that because that's a key component of what's going on. So enough said on this. All right, I just want to go through a few points in their investor presentation because it's important that we see their strategy because I think it's starting to unfold. They're in the middle of rolling all this out, and I think it's going well. The big catalyst that I'm looking at is they are reporting earnings next month, and I think that is going to be a very good thing for them. Their last earnings call did not go so well. People were a little bit disappointed. The stock pulled back. It's kind of run up and down since then, but I'm going to tell you why I think the next earnings report is going to be good. So from their investor presentation, opportunity to capture market share across multiple categories. So you'll see they're currently in frozen breakfast, frozen entrees and pizza, frozen fruits and vegetables. Then they have a column that says new, frozen appetizers and snacks, and salty snacks. So in addition to getting into more stores, they're also getting into more aisles in the stores. So that's critical. If they can increase the number of stores and increase the amount of sales in each store, that's their growth equation. Okay, also from their investor presentation, this is some highlights on their growth. In the first box, you'll see revenue growth 52% year over year. Their established brand, and that is the Tattooed Chef brand, is up 82% year over year. So that is the critical number. Their total growth includes a lot of private labeling still, but the established brand, Tattooed Chef, this company shifted gears over a year ago. They are branding themselves, and they're having a marketing awareness campaign, and it is their branded sales that are the future of this company. So you can see that number is going up more quickly than their total revenue. That is their important number. So then they've got a box that says strong resources, $140 million in cash, 275,000 square feet of manufacturing, the capacity to quadruple in 2021. Now, they're not going to quadruple in 2021, but them having the manufacturing capacity in place, this allows their rapid growth strategy over the next few years. They're ahead of the curve on this. So then opportunity for strategic mergers and acquisitions. They are always looking to potentially add to their brand by buying some smaller existing brands, which they have done this year. Then the last one, sales and marketing, launched the first national media campaign, branded store count to triple in 2021, and we'll take a closer look at that later. And then they have created 35 new product innovations in 2021. So that's massive. A key part of this company is their ability to create new products. This chart just zooms in a little bit on the sales growth. In 2019, in quarter one, they had $1.7 million in branded sales. They really started to ramp this up at the end of 2019, beginning of 2020. So that 8.8 in Q4 of 2019 went to 17.6, which is this white line over here in Q1 of 2020, and then to 23.9, and then we start the year 2021. So this red line is $36 million, so that was a drastic increase. Now what happened next is why people were a little bit disappointed. And there are some mitigating factors, and I talked about that in my last video, so I'm not going to get too deep into that. But for the first time, you'll see since inception, their branded sales actually went down from Q1 to Q2. So they were 36 million in Q1 of 2021, and they were 33.1 million in Q2. So again, there were some reasons for that, but nevertheless, it was a little disappointing. I think there was an overreaction in the sell-off to this stock at that time. But this sets them up very nicely for this quarter. So I'm going to go to a chart that I put together and show you what I think is going to happen. All right, so basically I've just summarized quarter by quarter from their financial statements, their branded sales and their total sales by quarter and then by year. These numbers in purple from here up are estimates, and these are a combination of my estimates, and I base that on what the guidance that the Tattooed Chef has given in their quarterly reports and what the majority of analysts have been looking at as potential sales. Mine's kind of a hybrid between what the analysts are thinking and what the company guidance is. The important column here, and I highlighted this one, $36 million in Q1 was a radical jump from Q4 of 2020. From about 24 million to 36 million. They've never had that kind of growth. So that, 17, 20, 22, 24, and now all of a sudden 36. So I think that's one of the problems is they got so far out ahead of themselves. It was hard to, that's a 51% growth rate. I think that was an outlier. In Q2, they were at 33 million. So they were down in branded sales and they were down in total sales from 52.7 million to 50.7 million. So for those reasons, there was a pullback in the stock. Q3 results are coming up. They're going to announce those sometime in maybe the second week of November. So I've put together what I think is going to happen. And I think especially on the branded sales, I've been pretty conservative here. I think they could beat this. For Q3 of 2021, I think they're going to report at least $37 million in branded sales. So that's going to be a 12% increase quarter over quarter. That puts them back on a trajectory that I think people are going to be comfortable with. It also beats Q1, so that will be the best quarter they've ever had. Like I said, I do think there's a chance they'll actually beat this number. In Q4, I think that's going to go to 42 million in branded sales, and that's a 14% increase quarter over quarter. So these are not year over year numbers. This is quarter over quarter. And that's what you want to see. And this is still a early stage high growth company. So the year over year is great, but of course, in a company like this, year over year, there should be no comparison. Quarter over quarter, you want to see consistent sales growth. Also, just to let you know, there's some construction going on in the house today, so if you hear any noise in the background, that's what's going on. But I'm going to work through it and try to get through the end of this video. So if you add up the actuals for the first and second quarter and my estimates for the third and fourth quarter, you come up with 238 million in sales. Management's guidance for the year was 242 million, so you can see I was a little conservative, but right in that range. So I just highlighted in green. These are the numbers, and again, this actually said Q4 and I just fixed it to say Q3. These are the numbers that are critical. They'll be reporting these next month. So I'm looking for this $37 million branded sales in particular. That, I think, is going to be a big catalyst. Again, I'm going to go to a slide from their investor presentation. And this is the reason that I think that they are going to accomplish these numbers. So this is a chart. Tattooed Chef continues to expand national distribution. So in 2019, their branded products were in 1,614 stores. In 2020, they increased that to 4,272. So that was just last year. They were in about 4,200 stores. Well, you can see their goal for this year was 10 million. They've already gone past that. They are expected right now to be, by the end of Q3, which is over, they were expecting to be in 12,000 stores. So that is almost triple the amount of stores that they were in going into the beginning of this year. So they are actually exceeding their growth rate as far as getting their product on the shelf. So, and we just saw they added 1,200 stores. So that's a 10% increase right there just by adding Publix. So this is basically the chart of the last year. I'm going to focus on, I have a blue line at $16.05 right there, and then another blue line at $24.23 right here. I'm going to focus on that trading range because if you go back, this is all the way back to October of 2020. You'll see and again, we did go above this a few times, but I'm going to call these outliers for the purposes of a trading range. We went pretty much right back up to the top of this trading range in a very short period of time. This was about 2 weeks, and that's a 50% increase. So this had a massive run up after getting beat up on earnings. That is this drop right here. So they got destroyed on earnings. They quickly recovered all the way up here. The market's been struggling. They've been struggling along with it. They're down around $18 right now. So this is what I want to talk about. The bottom of this trading zone is $16. So it is entirely possible we will test the bottom of this again. However, I am buying in right now. So I think this is a great opportunity to start averaging in. If it keeps going down and we test the bottom, then there may be 2 or 3 buying opportunities for myself between now and then. Again, this is what I'm doing. This is not financial advice. You guys have to do your own due diligence and decide what makes sense for you, what's your risk tolerance. But this is the case that I'm making in my head. This is what I think is happening. I believe we've headed most of the way back down to the bottom of this range. So we have a circle right here. Are we going to fill that? You know, people keep talking about a market correction or a market crash. If that happens over the next few weeks or month, then we will test the bottom of this in all likelihood. If not, if it stays strong, that's why I want to start averaging in right here, because averaging in at $18, you'll see that even if it just gets back from here to the top of its trading range, that's a 33% increase just to retest the top of the trading range from where we are right now. And then if I'm able to average in all the way from the bottom, again, that's 50% increase from the bottom of the top of what I believe you can see is a very consistent trading range for this stock. I'm accumulating right now. I guess we'll have to see how the market does between now and the time they announce earnings, which is still about a month away. So I'm looking for that to be a big catalyst. If it hasn't already run up, that could be the catalyst that runs it up. So I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know if we're going to touch the bottom of this range again, but it has been a very strong trend. I personally expect that we will retest the top of this trading range. Long term, I think this is a very strong buy and hold for me. I think Tattooed Chef's prospects are outstanding. My short-term price target over the next couple of months is to get back to the top of this trading range up to $24. Beyond that, this is a buy and hold for me. So those are my thoughts on the Tattooed Chef. I just wanted to catch up, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.